NCAA basketball totals for Friday, December 2nd. We got 3 games on the card today. Not really a great slate of games, but I think we got some good matchups here and some value. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at 3 of them. Don't forget to check out our NBA segment, and also don't forget to check out SBR for all the numbers, odds, sign up, bonuses. It's all there. We got all the sports books. Be sure to check us out. And let's break down some games. Here we go. First one we got is St. John's and Tulane. Oddsmakers have it at 146.5, and I'm going over the total in this one. This is going to be really fast. Neither team is particularly good. St. John's, they're still in a rebuilding year. They had a really rough year last year. They played no defense. They're playing a little bit better this year. It's at Tulane, which I think is going to help, which is going to help the Green Wave. But let's look at some numbers here. We got St. John's, Chris Mullen, of course. We got them. They're averaging 74.4 points per game. Tulane 71.1, but Tulane allows over 80 points per game. So, St. John's should be able to score, and they're allowing 71 points per game. So they haven't been stellar yet. Big point of contention tonight. St. John's, they shoot over 36% from distance, and they love to shoot the 3. Tulane, they're allowing 39.5% from distance. They're not a good team. They're picked basically last in the league. That's not a good team they have right now this year. Tulane, their overall shooting percentages are terrible, but they do shoot the 3 particularly well at 37.5%. And they get up plenty at almost 23 attempts per game. They're at home. They should be able to shoot the 3. Tempo-wise, we got both teams getting up and down. You got St. John's averaging 62.4 attempts per game. Tulane's averaging 62.7. That's pretty fast. And they're both allowing kind of similar numbers on the other end. So although St. John's is not a particularly good shooting team, they do shoot the 3 pretty well. They're only averaging 41% from the floor, but Tulane's allowing opponents to shoot 47.5%. So St. John's should be able to score. They'll be, better athletically, and I think they get over that 146.5. Big total, but I think they get there. Okay, that's St. John's Tulane over the 146.5. Next one up, we got Alabama versus Texas. Low total here at 123. I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under with this one with Avery Johnson and Shaka Smart. We got Alabama averaging 69.5 points per game, Texas averaging 69.3. That gets us over this total easily, but I think it's going to be kind of a slow, grind-out game. Texas has lost 3 games in a row right now, so they're desperate for a win. They should be able to beat Alabama, but Alabama's they had some good upsets last year. Kind of a little bit of rebuilding year for them. Same with Texas. I just don't see a lot of scoring in this game. Texas is allowing 66.8 points per game. Alabama's allowing just 60. That ranks 19th in the country. And they're allowing just 8.3 assists per game. That ranks 4th. That's a pretty good D. Texas, statistically, has been good on the defensive end. They're allowing opponents to shoot just 39.6% from the floor. That's solid. And Alabama is allowing just 40.6% from the floor. That's also really good. And both teams are shooting just over 42% overall. So I just don't see a lot of scoring as well. Texas, not good from beyond the arc. They're shooting just 26% from distance. That's bad. And, attempts, they're not going to be going really fast. Alabama really tries to control the tempo, and they've been playing great D. They're a little tougher challenge tonight, having to play at Texas, but Texas has not been playing too well either. So, I look at Texas. They had a couple, they've lost 3 in a row, but they played some decently up-tempo teams with Colorado and Northwestern. Nice job by Chris Collins so far this year with that club, by the way. But those are some pretty low scoring affairs. They didn't get up a lot of points, 58 and 54 points, and they scored 61 points. They're going to have a tough time scoring against Alabama, although they should win at home. But I like under the total. I think there's going to be pretty good defensive battle right here. All right, that's Alabama, Texas under the 123, and the last one we got is Iona, St. Peter's in that Mid-Atlantic that we always want to look at for Fridays. And I'm going to go over the I'm not going over. I was looking at the Tulane game. I'm going under the 137.5 because St. Peter's they're the home team, and they're a really good defensive team, and I like for them to stay under this total. Right now, Iona, they've been traditionally really fast and always, one of the better mid-majors, but they lost a lot from last year. St. Peter's got a lot back, actually. Still, defense is where their foundation is. You look at some of their numbers, they just don't allow a lot of points. Right now, you got Iona, they're averaging 73.8, but St. Peter's, they're allowing just 65.2. That's solid. And St. Peter's, they're only scoring 70 points per game. Iona, they're allowing 74. But some of the defensive numbers, we have a real point of contention for this game is Iona loves to shoot the 3. They're averaging 29.4 attempts per game. That ranks 8th in the country. And they're averaging over 36% on those shots. That's solid. But St. Peter's is allowing just 28% from distance. That ranks 29th in the country. That's really good. And that's going to be the point of contention tonight. Neither team is shooting particularly well, both shooting just about 42.5%. That ranks in the bottom third of the country. So, attempt-wise, St. Peter's really controls it. They allow and get up just 50.8 attempts per game. That's not very much. So right now, Iona's not going particularly fast. I like for this to go ahead and stay under that 137.5. It's a little bit too high, I think. And although, we've seen some games recently, they're both coming off games where they went over this total. I just don't see it happening. Also, these teams know each other pretty well. So look for a little bit of defensive battle here. They're going to score. I just don't think they're going to get to the 137.5. All right, quick recap. Here we go. We got St. John's Tulane over the 146.5, Alabama, Texas under the 123, and Iona and St. Peter's under the 137.5. Those are our NCAA totals picks. Be sure to check out SBR. Be sure to check out our NBA segment as well. And I wish you luck on your picks today.